Hey Happy Crew, HappiDaze here. In today's video, we are doing the final day of Grand Party. Sorry this got out so late. My kids are sick, I'm sick, and yeah, I just been feeling not too great. So we'll do the PvP video, show you how we did the last day. We did use these Trends with Luffy leader again, because we didn't get to use him except for the first couple days that we tried. So we want to end it with him and see how he does. We do have Blitz battle that starts tomorrow. I'm thinking of actually doing a live stream tomorrow night, maybe like a 10 to 12 type thing, for anyone who might be interested. So if you do want to see that, let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys do want to see it, then maybe we'll set up something we can hang out, do Blitz, and just have fun. So without that being said, let's go ahead and get into the fights. So for the first fight, which is absolutely useless because we already got the max win for the season, we're going to go ahead and take on, why don't we just do the Luffy at the top there, right? We've done the into Luffy a couple times already. It seems to work out pretty well. So yeah, let's just do a battle against him. They only get one burst, so it's really not that bad to take him on this season. And yeah, once he comes back and gets his full burst next season, I think he'll be, again, back on top. But at least for now, he is not. So the advantage here for us is that on their int team, they don't have Blackbeard. It means they can't do the special reverse. They don't have Nami or Karina. So that means that we don't have to really worry about any of that special reverse shenanigans that get there. Now, as the Luffy leader comes out, we do have 3 bursts to use, so that's great. That's awesome. You love to see that. Of course, next season you will be limited down to 2, so that's kind of the downside of this character, which is why he won't be able to really replace the int Luffy. So I'm going to use my special here because, 1, we get the 6,000 shot on them just for having, you know, the int class for a bunch of their units. So it works out pretty well there. So we did lose Kuzan, but like it didn't matter because Nami and Karina are going to come in, special rewind them, and basically let Luffy go ham on them, let Smoker do some special bind on them, let the Roger Rayleigh Gaban go on them, and you can see like at that point they just melt. Now we do have to watch out for that Yamato unit. She should take out potentially 3 units if she dies. If she hits Luffy, obviously that works out pretty well for us because that means that we get the revive mechanic of Luffy to kind of take that hit. So is what it is. That was the game plan for this fight. So you can see we're going pretty well. Should take out most of them here. Yamato's going to do her death hit right here, but we have enough people on the bench where it's not going to matter no matter who it hits there. Now the one thing that was weird here is that they actually decided to use their burst here, their only burst. Don't know why. AI is just weird sometimes, so yeah. They used their only burst, so at this point, like, it's GG's, right? We have 2 bursts versus their no burst for either the second or the third match. So it just depends, you know, what the type advantage looks like for the second or third match. Obviously, if it's a side team, then that's even better for us to attack because we get the extra buff as part of the captain burst ability. But even if they don't, like, it doesn't matter. So we did end up having our strength team go second. We just happened to luck out and get their dex team to go second. So, yeah. I mean, at that point, there's really no way that we can lose, just because we have type advantage and 2 bursts. So I'm going to use one right away just so we get it charged up really quick. You get 12 hits, that's how you charge it. So the sooner you use it, the sooner you get it charged back, and then use it again. So that's kind of the game plan here. Once Luffy goes, it's over. But yeah, that was kind of the first series of fights for the first match of the day. We'll just wrap it up here. There we go. We got our burst. That should wipe out pretty much their whole front line now. Yep. And then once Luffy goes next, it's over. So yeah, this is the craziness of type advantage and what it can do for you and your side. And there you go. Luffy says not today. So we looked at what type advantage there. But yeah, that Luffy special was definitely awesome. Having 3 of those allows us to use 2 on the second match just to get a really quick victory there. So that's fight number 1. Brings us out to 13 out of 15. So let's go ahead and get into fight number 2. So for fight number 2, we're going to go ahead and take on, let's say, the side Luffy there is the only one that's not a rare recruit. At least make it a little bit difficult for them. Now they do get 2 bursts, so they get 1 more burst and obviously the int Luffy, so that's good for them. They get their burst by doing damage, so basically what we want to do is prevent them from doing a bunch of damage, maybe let them only get 1 burst and then kill them with our 1 burst in one match and then 2 in the other. So that's kind of the game plan, the strategy. We knew that their team up front was the side team, so we know that, you know, if we use our special here, we'll do a ton of damage against them. So that'll just help us make sure that they don't get their specials off. And also this is why we decided to have this team go instead of the int team as well. So Luffy's just about ready. Our gauge is just about ready. It's charged. No reason to not use it, so we're going to use it just a few seconds. We're just going to let some of these guys go. Odin is just gonna hammer them. Let Luffy go too. Let's see if we let some of the units come in before we use the special. Let's see if we maybe let Kuzan go. Let's see if we can do a little bit more damage. Ooh, we're taking a shot there from Luffy. Yeah, should have used it a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. Sometimes that just happens. But yeah, you can see because we had the type advantage, it just absolutely wipes them out. Kuzan does an almost 13k shot himself, and just puts us in a really good spot. At that point, they only have 2 left. Now, obviously, they did a bunch of damage there. They're going to do their burst, which isn't ideal because it wipes out a bunch of our guys, but it's a 4-on-1 at this point. So we got that, and it puts us in a really good position to have 2 bursts for fight number 2, where we don't have to really worry about, you know, letting them do a lot of damage to us, and getting their second burst gauge to go. So half our burst gauge is charged, which is good. You'll have to see that. We're just going to go ahead and keep the same order that we did for the last fight with Strength Team in slot number 2. So we're facing the Slasher Team. So the danger with the Slasher Team is they get a ton of cooldown this season, especially Odin and the Kinemon unit over there as well. And even S-Hawk gets a bunch, so you can see like they're up in like +10 for some of those units, so they can go pretty quick. Now the advantage is we can go a little bit quicker, right? We have a lot of units at 12+, such as to go faster. We have that burst to be able to use. Obviously, we don't get really that huge advantage of the 6k shot, except for against S-Hawk because he's int, so it doesn't really help us that often. But the reason we want to use it sooner rather than later is that as soon as the burst gauge gets charged again, we can use it, right? So let's say S-Hawk goes and hits 3 units. Boom. We're ready to go. We can use our special and just be off to the races at that point. Luckily for us, looks like Luffy's about to go, so he should wipe out pretty much everyone, so it really doesn't matter too much per se. But it's about making sure that you kind of reduce your risk as much as you can in these PvP fights. You want to make sure that you don't give them the ability to get off specials. And now they only have 3 left. Kaido's like, nope, not going to happen. And that's just a 1-shot to end it and not let them get their burst gauge charge. So there you go. Against the Sai Luffy, really easy, really quick to beat. So yeah, love the match. Really easy to get 14 out of 15. So let's go ahead and take a look what leaders we have for match number 3. So for match number 3, I want to have someone who we haven't really showcased a lot in the last couple days. So we're going to go against the Kaido unit here. Obviously one of the better GP legends. He does his special by doing damage. So you do damage, charges burst, it does a nasty shot, can really give a lot of good buffs to powerhouse characters, things like that. So yeah, you do have to kind of watch out about that. And he gets 3 burst charges, which is kind of crazy. So going into this, I wasn't quite sure if we were going to be able to pull this off. So I was kind of hoping that this type of advantage that we have would make sure that we kind of hopefully win that first match, save 2 bursts for a second or third match. But I knew that I'd be taking multiple Kaido shots here, which is of course never fun and never good to do. So gonna use one of my bursts here just to kind of get them down, whittle that really crazy strength team down, and then basically have Luffy go, and Luffy's just gonna absolutely dominate. I was hoping that they would use one of their Kaido bursts here with all the damage that I did, but as you'll see as we go on, unfortunately that was not in the game plan. So that means that going into the second battle, we're gonna take a special right off riff, and then when we go and start doing our specials, then they're gonna get another special off riff. So game plan kind of going into fight the last match, or fight number 3, is to basically hope that they can use 2 of their specials on fight number 2, 2 of their Kaido bursts, and that way hopefully then we can kill them before they use their last Kaido burst on the 3rd fight there. So Luffy's gonna end it for us right here. Great, you'll have to see that. So we are going to have our Free Spirit team go second. As I mentioned, though, the whole goal was to be able to take two shots from Kaido here. And we're going to, I believe we're going to end up skipping once we take the first shot, just because we want to just kind of get through this. You're not going to win if you take a Kaido shot and don't have like a healer or something like that on your team, which we really don't have here. This is a pretty crazy strength team, of course. So yeah, here's that burst that I mentioned. The good news is, you know, skipping ends up getting our burst gauge charged. We have 2 for the final battle there. They did use 2 of their special bursts, which is good, which means basically it's kind of a race now of who can do more, right? So the idea here is that we can use our burst. If Kaido happens to use his burst again, then we can use our burst pretty much right after that. So yeah, we should be able to wipe out the line, and then in the back it's really just Fuji, Kanjuro, and Blue Jam back there. So it shouldn't be too bad if you take out that front line, and that's kind of the game plan there. So I do want to wait just a little bit, just to kind of see if none of our guys can get their specials off before we use our burst. But yeah, it didn't look like it was going to happen. They were getting pretty close to getting their specials going. You can see this is that Kaido attack we were talking about. Forced out 2 of our units, which is just a pain. We need to take a little bit of damage from Shiryu there, but nothing kind of too crazy. Some special rewind from Cross Guild. And basically at this point, now it's just kind of waiting, like, can we get our burst gauge charged? And hopefully S-Hawk can go before he dies, though he's pretty close to 10, so probably not. But we have some good units in the backbench coming out anyway. Ooh, we're going to take a shot from Luffy here, but that will charge our burst gauge. You can see pretty much everyone in the front line is dead. Now, the smart move here was that I wiped out everyone. Unfortunately, because it wiped out everyone, the Yamato death hit never went through. Otherwise, it would have been 2 more units that would have taken 7,500 damage, and then one would have got like an absolute nasty shot after that. But it really didn't matter because I still have my whole front line there, minus Yamato, of course. Like at this point, there's no way they can win. They can beat us, and that just helps us get a very easy win number 2, and ultimately get us up to 15 wins. So to kind of wrap up, you know, one of my thoughts of this Luffy. So if he had 3 all the time, I think he would be really good. He would be really used. But yeah, with next season, with him going back down to 2 on his charge gauge, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So I'm just sending my leader to a non-burst captain. Really doesn't matter for this season because, like I said, you can get 10 wins and get unlimited retries, so it really doesn't matter. But still, just as a matter of habit, make sure you set your recruits at the end of the day to a non-burst captain. That way you don't have to deal with that for actual real Grand Party. So yeah, ultimately I think if he had 3 bursts, he'd be a much better GP leader, but unfortunately he's going to go down to 2 as of next GP season. So I think In Luffy's still going to be the king. Still going to see him everywhere, and he's just going to continue to wreak havoc and just be absolutely awesome. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how this season went for you guys. You know, I'm sure a lot of people pulled multiple versions of the new Legends. You know, who is your favorite legend to play with? I'd love to hear that. And again, I'm hoping to do a live stream tomorrow. Maybe like a 2-hour live stream from like 10 to midnight. With, you know, doing Blitz Battle and taking questions and just hanging out with you guys. So look forward to that. If you guys want to do that, of course, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, until next time, be kind to each other. Thanks, guys.